Welcome to Chef Poppi's kitchen. Got a big piece of meat here. This is a Snake River Farms. This is a Wagyu beef brisket. It's 24 and a half pounds. It's almost a 25-pound brisket. I do prefer to cook the bigger briskets. And the key to a good brisket is buy good quality briskets, season them, but the key is to cook them low and slow on a smoker for anywhere from 18 to 24 hours. So what we have here is a beautiful brisket with a beautiful fat cap. Now a lot of people that cook these, a lot of chefs and barbecuers will trim all this fat off. I absolutely do not trim any of the fat off on a brisket. Most of this fat will render down, it'll drip down into the smoke, it'll create additional smoke, and most of the fat will be gone. But it works as a protective layer between the meat and the firebox, so you get a much juicier brisket. One of the things that I love about brisket is this type of a cut can serve so many people, and you don't have to get briskets quite this size. This is because I'm cooking for a lot of people. I'm probably going to have about 20 people eat off this, so it needs to be a big brisket, of course. But the key to these is, I don't go crazy with how I season them. I like to use a little bit of olive oil as a binder because you got to have something to hold all the seasoning in. I work it in really good. So it's got a nice layer of olive oil on the brisket. And we'll just do one side at a time. Now what I like to use is a Fiesta brisket rub. It's a wonderful flavor. It's mostly pepper with just a little bit of other ingredients in there. And when you're doing a brisket, you know, I put a lot of seasoning on it. It's a large piece of meat. It's dense. It takes a lot of time for the flavor to get into the meat. So you got to start it out with a nice layer of seasoning. Now you got to let it kind of sweat in a little bit before we start flipping. It doesn't take very long. Top it off with some pepper. And of course, on the day that we cook, I put some additional pepper all over it. Kind of like when you're cooking a prime rib, how you like to pepper crust it. Well, I like to pepper crust the brisket as well. Now these are such a big piece of meat, it takes a little bit of work to get all the ends, the sides, everything. Especially when it's this big. And one of the things, even if I cook a big brisket like this, for not as many people, I love saving the fatty end, this end up here, as one big chunk. And then I use that in other recipes. I'll vacuum pack them, because I think you know that I like to vacuum pack. I vacuum pack them in the smaller bags, and then I put the date on it and what it is, and I can grind that up when I'm making burgers, we can put it in chili, we can put it in so many different meals when we need just a little bit of smoked brisket to go with it. Get this end. And another thing about brisket, you know, there's a lot of people that season them, put them right on the smoker, and that's fine. But I have found that if you pre-season your meat several days in advance, because today's Tuesday, and I'm not going to put this on until Thursday night, but I'm getting it ready today. Now, of course, if I post this video later today, my employees are going to be pleasantly surprised because they don't know we're cooking for them. Okay, so let's get the fat cap done. Now, when it goes on the smoker, this side is going to go down because this is the side that has all the fat. You want it to render off, and it creates that protective layer between the meat and the firebox. Now I use a green egg. You know, there's lots of different smokers that people use out there. In fact, some people even cook a brisket in the oven. But I like cooking them on a green egg. I'm comfortable with it. I might have a couple of them, or maybe I have 4 of them. I don't know. I got a bunch of them. Here we go. A little bit of pepper. Besides steak, I would, steak and some really nice fish. I think brisket is probably one of my favorites. I can't even begin to imagine how many of these I've cooked over the years for my friends and family, but just about every one of my friends and family members has had my brisket. And I've probably cooked at least 1,000 of them by now. It might surprise me. I didn't count them. There we go. She's seasoned. We're going to go ahead and put it on, out in the freezer, out in the fridge that is. I got a big commercial fridge out in my cooking area. On a big tray, I'll cover it so it doesn't dry out, and then we'll leave it there for a couple days. And then I'll be back with you in a couple days, and we're going to fire up the firebox. We're going to put this on. I'll let you check in with me a couple times during the night to make sure it's going okay, and then that next morning when we slice it, I'll have you here with me. We'll slice it. And then I might even give you a couple little videos of the girls and the guys at work enjoying it. So thanks for coming. I'll see you again.